out of love, baby. With just a touch. City's cold and empty, no one's around to judge me. When you're gone, oh, oh, and I say, ooh, I'm blinded by the lights. Alright, good morning everybody. It's Monday, February 8th, 2021, man. That was a little bit of the weekend, man. I couldn't share the music with you, but I wanted to dance a little bit and have some fun, bro. Put on a great halftime show last night, man. I enjoyed it. Didn't watch the full game, I'll be honest with you guys. Watched a little bit in the beginning. Went on to do other things. Watched a little bit of the halftime show. Man, Miley Cyrus, Billy Idol, fucking killed it, dude. Very cool, very cool. Everything was delightful, dude. I had a lovely evening to myself, just laying low, doing things as I do. And yeah, man, killing it, to be honest with you. I had a great weekend, you guys. I had a great weekend. I hope you guys also had a great weekend. I hope you're all safe and sound wherever you are, boys and girls. Ladies and gents, glad you made it. So glad you made it, doggy. And today we got a lot on the schedule, to be honest with you guys. But I'll tell you this, man. I've been digging deep. I've been digging deep, doing a lot of introspection, especially over the last... I'm always introspective, you guys, but like I'm digging deep to find truth. Digging deep to find truth and like find... because I want to be doing comedy, right? And I've been taking notes, I've been listening carefully, and what I need to be doing is I need to be talking about everything more truthfully, more honestly, giving you... I can't just be scratching the surface, if you will, and not give you the details. I don't want you guys to think that your boy's gonna just, you know... I've got my things, dog. I've got my issues, I've got my traumas that I've talked about in the past, but I've never really like dug into it with you guys, or anybody else for that matter. This is actually, I'll tell you, man, today has got no agenda. We're going to be talking about a lot of things. A lot of it is emotional, a lot of it is going to be thought-provoking, a lot of it is going to be pushing you guys out of your comfort zones. This is not an easy subject or subjects to be talking about, so if for whatever reason, let me just tell you, man, if you've ended up on this page, glad you made it, dog. But I talk about everything, funny shit, serious shit, and today's gonna be a little bit of a mixed bag, dude. I don't know how it's gonna turn out. A little bit excited, a little bit nervous. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I'm not gonna sit back and pretend like this is an easy thing to talk about. But it needs to be talked about, man. It needs to be talked about, and I think, again, 2021's, again, the year of healing, forgiveness, growth, and letting go of things that you shouldn't want to, like, yeah, letting go should be a big part of this year as well. Letting a lot of things that are holding you back in any form, or dealing with it at least so that you can move forward with it. Because if you ignore things, it doesn't mean that they don't exist. If you don't talk about things, it doesn't mean that they don't exist. So... let me just, I guess today's, I don't even know how to get into this, you guys. I mean, it's going to be a little bit of a, I guess, we're going to play lie detector, basically. I'm going to play lie detector with myself, dude. I'm not hooked up with anything, but I'm just telling you the truth and my experiences, dude. This is your boy pouring out his most deepest, darkest thoughts. And yeah, man, I hope you guys are ready. Oof, am I ready? Yeah. Okay, how do I, let's just get into it, man. Let's just get into it, and then we'll just formulate it however it unravels. I don't really have, yeah, first question is, have you ever been sexually assaulted or sexually molested when you were a kid? Dude, hands up if you've encountered a dick when you were under the age of 10. Yup. So, that's that. I mean, and yeah, we'll get into it. Man, I can't believe I'm saying this shit on camera, and I can't believe in about a few hours this shit's gonna be on the internets, dude. The purpose of all this is, why am I doing this? It's not for fame, it's not for fortune, it's not for The only reason why I'm talking to you guys about this is for my career, because comedy, I got to be super honest with everything that I've seen and done in my life, and a big portion of why I've chosen to pursue comedy is I want to be helping people laugh more, and hopefully I can be a voice, maybe helping you heal a little bit in circumstances that, you know, we might have in common, or whatever, dude, whatever it is. So let's get into it. I mean, how did it happen? When did it happen? Let me just give you a little bit of stats so that if you guys don't know, I've just been doing a little bit of research online. I'm like looking up the stats on what's the sexual harassment or assault statistics for children, and what I've come to find online, it said that 1 in 4 girls, when they're babies or when they're kids, they get assaulted. So that's 1 in 4. That's like, you know, 25%, and 1 in 6 boys. So, you know, take the average. Let's just say 1 in 5 kids gets some sort of, you know, they get traumatized by being exposed to sexual either behavior or imagery or pornography or whatever the fuck it is, right? So there's a lot of us out there, and I just want you guys to, because I know for a long time I've had to like mentally grapple with this. I've had to, it definitely, and I forgot about it, you guys. That's the thing, when you go through certain things, traumatic things, your brain is actually more powerful than you think. So you go ahead and as a kid you compartmentalize. You put it into little storage boxes, you store it away, and then one day when you're like 21, when your pops passed away, when you were, you know, 21, and you decide to do a heavy load of mushrooms one day, certain things, certain thoughts that have been repressed, you know, just get popped up, and you're like, oh shit, is that what happened? So yeah, dude, I mean, let me give you a breakdown, you guys. Let me give you a breakdown. You all know a lot about me, but, you know, up until the age of 9, I was in a cult. I was in a cult with my family, and we decided to leave this cult. It was the Islamic Republic of Iran. That's the cult of personality. You know that place? We decided to leave. And yeah, man, we moved to Canada when I was 9 years old. But prior to that, when I was a kid in Iran, I'd have to give you a little bit of background information about my family, you know, so you guys get an idea of where I come from, what I've been through. Iran is a weird place, dude. I'll tell you straight up. You don't want to be born in Iran. It's a very suppressed society. It's very restricted. Males and females don't really have a normal relationship there because of the whole like Islamic mandate. They're not a secular country, so, you know, men and women are always, you know, separated, even through schooling and stuff. So there's a lot of repression, there's a lot of like pedophilia and sexual assault going on in places like that. And around the world too. I mean, the stats that I'm telling you, 1 in 5 children are at risk or getting molested every day. That's happening in North America. So 1 in 5 people, if you talk to, here's the thing, if we talk about these kinds of stuff, if everybody was to be willing to talk about it, you find out that most of us have, in some form or way, have experienced some sort of sexual trauma when we were kids. Not all of us. There's a good portion of us that have not. That's the thing, man. Once I realized what I had gone through and stuff, and I had like, it's been like 10, 11 years as an adult that I've been thinking about it, grappling with it. It definitely later on messed me up a little bit because I had issues, and I started to question my own sexuality for a little while. I'm like, am I bisexual? Am I gay? And I had no idea because I had forgotten about this thing. And mind you, man, I'm going to be sharing with you guys a few things that I've done that have shaped me that have made me the man I am, the person that sits in front of you. Throughout my life, I've always been a curious kid, and grown up, here's the thing, man, I'm surprised I didn't get sexually molested or abused more than just probably once. And when I say abuse, I saw a cock, dude. I saw a cock. I don't remember if I got sodomized or anything like that. I don't remember sucking a dick. I don't remember anybody sucking my dick or anything like that, but I do remember, like, seeing a dick. This guy that used to work for my grandpa got into a stitch. I was basically in a place where I wasn't supposed to be. You know what I mean? And, yeah, I mean, it fucked with my head I forgot about it as a kid, but as an adult, when I had a trip one time, you guys, when I was 21, right after my dad passed away. I was dealing with a lot of shit just to get a little bit of clarity and stuff. And I took a heavy load of mushrooms, dude, and I was tripping balls. And just brought that back memory, right? And I just had to digest it and eat it and I was contemplating a lot of things. I'm like, is this perhaps a false memory? Could this be? Because I like to contemplate everything and make sure that I wouldn't have come and sat in front of you today if I wasn't sure about the answers or sure about my experiences. So it's important that I took this time and I'm here sitting in front of you right now today and not earlier when I was probably not ready for it. But yeah, man, certain things happen. Luckily, it could have been way worse, but the whole point of this story is I know a lot of people, a lot of sexual misconduct around children happens all the time, and majority of folks don't know about it because kids don't realize it to go tell their parents. When they do tell their parents, depending on your cultural background, or your situation in life sometimes, or just the way people think about these things, they don't want to talk about it because it's just like, it's an uncomfortable topic, right? Who wants to talk about this? But I think it's really important because we're trying to heal, right? And it's like we're trying to heal, but we're only looking at society and we're only looking at the symptoms, not the causes. And a lot of us come from generational trauma. And you may not be personally a victim of this, but I bet if you talk to your mom, your dad, your grandparents, you would definitely find somebody in your family who's a victim. And I don't like that term. I don't identify myself as a victim because honestly, it's not. I don't carry any shame with me. That's not on me. I was a kid. The thing is, I'm surprised it didn't happen more because I was a cute little boy, dude. I'll tell you that straight up. In a society where everybody's repressed and not allowed to have relationships properly until you're like legit married, and here's the thing, my parents were so trustworthy too. They didn't know any better, man. We had people coming in and out of the house, our whole family. Like, I had people that were coming in and out of the house, spending a lot of time with me. You know those uncles, dude? Those people that aren't even related to you, but somehow you end up calling uncle? Man, I had one of these uncles, though, but luckily this uncle was a nice uncle, dude. This guy was not the guy that did anything. I actually love that dude. His name was Reza. Shout out to Uncle Reza. He taught me a lot of things, dude. He taught me to swim. He taught me to, he came into the family in Iran. I'll explain to you, man. In Iran, if my family wasn't ever religious or anything, so we were always kind of an outcast. And my grandpa from my dad's side, I've never met the man. It's very cool from the pictures that I see and the stories that I've heard. My grandpa from my mom's side of the family was, if I were to describe this man to you, I love the dude, but he was a flawed man. He had anger management issues. He drank a lot. But he was an orphan. He was he spoke Turkish, but he spoke Farsi with a Turkish accent. Didn't have too much education, but had, he was an orphan himself. But he had worked he had traveled from Baku and stuff to Iran and started to work from a very young age in the bazaars back then, and making himself into an adult male who was a tough guy. My grandpa was basically like a gangster dude, if you will. He was kind of a G, but not a gangster in terms of Western gangsters. He was a thug. He was an OG. He worked his way up. He definitely did some importing and exporting, if you will. And he accumulated a little bit of wealth for himself. So, my family's always been a little bit of a target when I was in Iran anyway, because we weren't really affiliated with any religious sects or cliques, if you will. So we just, and people had to make money. That's the thing. My grandpa, he wasn't a perfect man, but I remember I remember instances where he was a violent dude too. He'd have episodes where he'd hit my grandma and they'd have fights and stuff. So I was always traumatized by violence. And I've seen a lot of violence growing up too in Iran. And that 9 years period that I was a kid, I've seen so much violence. That's why growing up, I just always have leaned more into my feminine qualities or side of my personality, if you will. Growing up, I just didn't want to, and my dad was kind of a tough guy too. He got better when we came here, but in Iran, my dad and my grandpa used to be kind of tough guys, dude, because they had to be, because if you weren't a tough guy, you'd be messed around with, and they got messed around with too. Like I've told you guys, my grandpa was sent to prison. My dad was held at gunpoint at one point in his life because back when he was like a younger man, just meeting my mom, he used to work in a company called Iran National, if I'm not mistaken. These guys basically used to make like really old school automobiles in Iran, and he used to work in that manufacturing plant, if I'm not mistaken. And one day, apparently, he wanted to like organize a little meeting for the workers, just to talk about wages, rights, blah blah blah. And next thing you know, man, from the government, they come and like hold him up, and a lot of trouble, man. Basically, like life-threatening situations. So a lot of tough stuff that I've seen, but the reason why I'm talking to you guys about all of this is because I'm a very happy person today. I am to a certain degree, I'm a very balanced person. I think I'm still not, nobody's perfect. I've still got my flaws. I've still got my imperfections. But part of growing and part of evolving and not being a victim is realizing what has happened. And here's the thing, my situation happened in another country, right? If it happens to you here in North America or your locality that you're living in, i.e. if you are a kid or if you're an adult, let's concentrate on the kids first, we'll move to the adults in a few moments. But if your kid comes up to you and says, yeah, I've been molested, or somebody showed me a cock, dude, report that shit immediately, okay? Don't hold it in. Don't be ashamed of it. It's nothing on you guys. So yeah, out the person who's misbehaving, basically, so that they could get the and I don't have all the answers, you guys, and this is already getting emotional, dude. I'm not gonna lie. If I shed a few I'm not gonna shed a few tears, but that's the thing. I've shed my tears in the past, and I hope to be strong today, so that maybe other people can find strength and move on with their lives, dude. Because coming in, I've told you guys, I want to be coming in here, making you guys laugh, making you guys smile, but I do have to live my life and own up to everything that I've done and been a part of, and that's part of it. And it wasn't an easy thing to deal with, and I think it'll just always be something that I'll have to every once in a while reassess and reevaluate in order to be able to live and be at peace, basically. That's the forgiving part that I'm talking, because the man that showed me his cock and whatever, like, it's in another country, and I'm not going to be going down there, like, it is what I've left my, I guess, justice to be served somehow in the greater karmic world. It's out there in the universe, it's out there in the multiverse, and I do believe I'm not a religious person, but I do believe in the greater good in all of us. I do believe in goodness. I do believe in the notion of God. And like I said, I'm not a religious person, but throughout my life, I can't say that I've read a lot of books, and I've not read the Bible fully, but I've read excerpts, I've read this, that, and the other. And honestly, one person that's helped me, if they're a historical figure or whatever, I don't even care about again, I'm not educated too much upon it because I wasn't born into it, or I've not yet dug deep enough into it, but someone who's helped me is, I guess, Jesus, dude. I know it sounds cheesy, but whatever. I'm not even Christian, dog. But just the concepts of self-love, forgiving, and not going about the world as with the notion of eye for an eye, right? I'm not saying that if it happens here and you go immediately to the police, right? If anything happens here or anywhere else in your locality. My situation's different. We're talking about different people being in different continents. I want to focus my energy on hopefully raising awareness so that this shit doesn't happen. And last week I talked about, Peter Nygaard, the Canadian fashion mogul. So it's important that we're aware of these things. It's important to know that there are people out there, whether in the higher ups, whether in governments, whether in executives in media, high-level military folks. There are people in powerful positions who use their power for silencing people, and they don't want you to speak out. They want you to be ashamed, because if we're ashamed and if we speak out, we're speaking out against the status quo, and we're shaking things up, and they don't like that shit. So I'm just letting you know you're not alone, and I'm not alone either. I mean, I'm lucky enough to have a beautiful family, even though we're like my mom's somewhere else. Most of my family is just an imaginary family, to be very honest with you. None of them are present with me. I've got family members all over the world, but in a sense of a family, it's mostly a concept to me. It's not actually something physical. But I've tried to build my own family. That's what friends are, you know what I mean? Close friends that you can trust, people who you call maybe brothers and sisters, those are your family members. And then later on, your loved ones that come into your life, those are also your own family members. But as a notion of a family, I do see us as a collective family, you guys. I do see that we're all connected. Back in the day, it was 6 degrees of separation. I think with the age of technology, that degree of separation is even more reduced. So, yeah, a lot of times, yeah, growing up later on, after, coming in terms with that, fucked around with my sexuality for a little while. I was just like, and I'm a curious person. I've told you guys I will, like, try everything at least once. I've ended up like fingering myself in the butthole a couple of times just to see how it feels. I'm like, am I gay? Am I bi? Wasn't for me. Because I wanted to, like, growing up with what had happened, right? A lot of things got messed up, right? And not being able to talk to my dad passed away. I didn't really have a role model to talk to. Even if he was alive, to be honest with you guys, I don't think I would have talked to him because of so many different reasons. Again, my dad had a high temper. By the time he was passing away, he had become much nicer, but in the early days of my childhood, I remember I was always afraid to talk to my dad. So one of the reasons why, when I was growing up in my late teens, early 20s, I didn't want to feel like a man. I've always shaved my face. I even, like, 1 or 2 years, I even fucked around with, like, wearing eyeliner, painting my nails black, going for that goth look, because I just wanted to rebel in some form. I was angry. I was upset, I was confused, I lost my father, I realized, man, I was throwing a cock when I was a kid. My dad, before passing away, he canceled his life insurance, so we lost everything, like, we had, oh man. But I don't want to, like, that's the thing, at the end of it all, yo, in retrospect, I want you to this is what I mean, man, this is what I mean when I'm talking about sometimes willpower, sometimes playing all your cards to the best of your ability, no matter how shitty that hand may be. Play them to the best of your ability, baby boy, baby girl. We got this, man. This is where it stops. The buck stops with us, right? This is where the bullshit stops. So that, when you hear your kid here in North America getting a job offer, going to a pamper party, you stop it immediately. Or when you're deciding somebody should be babysitting your kids, you fucking think about that very clearly now. Do you know where your kids are, bro? Who do you trust your kids with? This is so important for me, for you guys to get and understand, because, like, children are very exposed, especially with technology. You got to be vigilant. Do you know where your little daughter is? Do you know where your little son is? Until the age of 18, you should be very vigilant with kids. Alright? And you shouldn't let anybody just come into your life and become an uncle or an aunt or babysit or you should be so vigilant with the people who come into your life and come into your kids' lives. It should be priority numero uno, is what I'm trying to say. And I hope that this message comes through. It wasn't easy for me to talk about it, but growing up with that, having, yeah, I mean, I've questioned a lot of things, and luckily today I can sit in front of you with certainty, be like, I'm comfortable with my sexuality, I'm comfortable with my body, I'm comfortable with my thoughts, and I hope to one day be able to, if I'm blessed to have a family, I want my family, just like everybody else's family, to be in a safe environment, wherever they are around the world, right? Once you're 18, 19, once we fully hit that age of, like, legality, or then you should be equipped to make your own decisions, and if you sleep with anybody, it's on you. You know what I mean? But anything before that, like, if kids are being exposed to pornography, any sexual acts or images, and just you guys should be very careful about that. Please, please, please. And this is, again, coming from a guy who loves everything, dude. I love my hip-hop, I love my gangster flicks, I love my arts, I love my sciences, I love my crafts, and I think we're all so filled with potential and goodness, and sure, some of us may have gotten hurt. I'm not downplaying any of that shit, but I don't want people living their lives thinking they're victims of shit, because you're not, dude. You're not. And I want you to feel good about yourself. I want me to feel good about myself, and for the most part, you guys, I do, but it's one of those things that I needed to talk about, and I feel lighter talking about it right now. And today's video is not going to be too long. I will probably just keep it for half an hour because I wasn't sure how it's going to go. Later on, I might even touch upon this, but I thought it's fair. I thought I should play my cards before going on other platforms, and because I'm starting to build a community around me, I'd like to be able to be a part of a community, and I want to be as honest as possible. I want to be as truthful as possible, and I want to own up to my mistakes as well. Yeah, so that's something that is like, I after experiencing that as an adult, I would never wish that upon anybody. I would never want any child to go through anything like that. And I want everybody to be safe and sound. And as adults, I want everybody to be having fun sex, dude. Fun, consensual sex, you know what I mean? But we can't be thinking out there, like, I know people have this fear that they don't want to date, whether they're ladies or they're men. They're so fearful of each other. I'm telling you, there are good guys and good gals out there. But when you start having families and babies, be careful, you know what I mean? As adults, for the most part, especially with, like, technology and everything being monitored, we're definitely getting on top of this shit. I'm very, very optimistic, but I do still want you guys to be vigilant and think accordingly, okay? How you behave around your own kids. And yeah, man, if you even have kids and are not thinking about your kids and still are thinking about other ridiculous things, get your shit together. And I hope that one day, I don't know, if I'm blessed to have kids, I hope that I will be able to provide for them properly and provide a safe environment so that they can grow and be happy and healthy. And I want that for all of you guys as well. Because we're one large family, whether you're in Africa, whether you're in Asia or the Middle East or in Europe or here in North America, dude, we're part of a larger unit, and there's something way more than just the physical vessels that we embody. There's a soul in there, or a spirit, or a mind, call it whatever you want to call it, but we're all connected. And I don't have the recipe. This is not to say that I've got it down. I just want to say that there are methods of dealing with these things, and talking about it is one. Maybe for those people who aren't susceptible to like schizophrenia and stuff, maybe more research should be done on the benefits of psilocybin, because I know it's helped me and maybe it can help other people. And more legalization and more truthful talk so we can, get moving forward, basically, you guys. I'm going to leave it at that. Basically, it was a lot. I didn't even think I was pussyfooting around this, man. I wasn't really sure if I was going to talk to you guys about this, but moving forward, this is it, man. I'm feeling lighter already, guys. I'm feeling lighter already. I want you guys to treat each other with love and respect. If you've made a mistake, forgive yourself, forgive other people. Do not do shitty things to each other. Again, there's pretty much 3 things that I'm against. Everything else, as long as you're having fun and are safe and sound, everything is A-okay. But don't rape children, don't molest children, don't rape each other as adults either, okay? Men and women, that goes for everybody. That means basically don't force yourself upon anybody. But if you end up having sex through mutual understanding, then enjoy that shit, because sex is free, it's part of love, it's part of humanity, it's touching, it's emotions, and both men and women need it, right? So let's not play around, you guys. I want to come back on Wednesday with more positive attitude, with more great stories to share with you guys, and more laughter and more joy. But this needed to be done, and I don't feel sorry for sharing it. I don't feel nothing, dude. I actually feel fucking tip-top, not gonna lie to you guys. I love you guys. If this has made your day better in any way, or if it's informed you, that makes me super happy. And whatever, man, it's not a big following, but it is a following, and word of mouth is everything. Talk about it with your family, talk about it with your friends. Go ahead and like it on Instagram, share it on Instagram. I'm going to be posting it on YouTube as well. It's there in the full length. So go ahead and subscribe, follow me. We're just going to keep adding more value, helping each other be uplifted. I love you guys. I'll talk to you all very soon. Peace out, everybody.